All right, good afternoon, everybody. So this weekend we're going to be talking, or this next week we're going to be dealing with solving equations. We're going to get more in detail with it. We're going to be looking at doing the properties and adding those in and being able to define everything we're doing. Every step that we make, we'll be able to define that using one of our properties. So we're just going to start with basic one-step equations. Here are our properties that we have to look at. You have the addition property of equality, which tells you that if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. So this is what allows us to be able to add a number to both sides of the equation, and it doesn't change the equation. You have the commutative property of addition, which tells you that A plus B equals B plus A. And that just shows you that you can switch the order in which you're adding. So if I have 1 plus 2, that's the same thing as 2 plus 1. Excuse me. You have the commutative property of multiplication, which is the same idea as the commutative property of addition. It's A times B equals B times A. You have the identity property of addition, which tells you that A plus 0 equals A. So adding 0 to any equation will keep it the same, and then it also shows the reverse. 0 plus A still equals A. You have the identity property of multiplication, which tells you that 1 times A equals A, or A times 1 equals A. You have the associative property of addition, which tells you that A plus the quantity B plus C is the same thing as the quantity A plus B plus C. The associative property allows you to kind of move things around outside of the parentheses, and it doesn't matter as long as the operations are the same. You have the associative property of multiplication. You have A times the quantity B times C, and that equals A times the B quantity, and then times C. You have the distributive property, which tells you that A times the quantity B plus C equals AB plus AC, and then you can see the other one. The last two properties are the additive inverse, which tells us that A plus negative A equals 0. That's our inverse. And the multiplicative inverse property is A times 1 over A equals 1. So you're going to have to bear with me today because I actually have to write with my mouse, which is not going to be all that neat. So I will do my best to do this. So when we look at the problem x plus 5 equals negative 7, this is our given. Okay, so this would be what we would write down as our given. And then our first step now would be to write, we're going to subtract 5, because remember when we solve, we want to do the opposite operation to the same number. So I want to get rid of the plus 5, so I'm going to subtract 5 to both sides. Now, going from this step to here would be what we would consider our additive property. Let me actually see if I can change something real quick. Handwriting recognition. Alright. So this would be the additive Let's see if it fixes it. Oh, look at that. So you got the additive, and I'm going to abbreviate. I have to click it again, so hold on just a second. So we got the additive property of equality. See if it fixes it. There we go. Alright, so that's our given. This step allows us to do the additive property of equality. Alright, because I add 5 to both sides. Now when I simplify this, you guys should remember, this becomes 0. So now I have x equals, so let me write one more thing in here. So that's x plus 0 equals, and negative 7 and negative 5 is negative 12. Okay? And then the next property tells us that this is going to be x. So to go from here to here is going to be the additive inverse property. Okay, and there's that. So this is our additive inverse property. So when we added the 5 to both sides, that was the additive property of equality. The negative 5 and the positive 5 becoming 0 is our additive inverse property. And then this is x equals negative 12. And to go from x plus 1 equals negative 12 to x equals negative 12, that is actually going to be the additive identity. Okay. So this is how we would do this, and this actually gets us our answer. And I apologize, I'm having to use a lot more stuff today than normal because I don't have my pen. Okay, so that gives us our answer of x equals 12. Now, same idea here. You have negative 3x equals 1/6. Okay, and with this, we're going to do the same idea. All right, this is multiplication by, multiplication of negative 3 to both sides. So we're going to divide by both sides. And here, we know that dividing by both sides is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So this would be the same thing as multiplying by negative 1/3. Alright, and that takes us to this, which would be x. Okay, so this first step, actually here, let me erase this. I'll rewrite it completely. Okay, so you got negative 3x. We're going to multiply this by negative 1/3 equals 1/6 times negative 1/3. And this actually would be the multiplication property of equality. Okay, and then from here we know that these two will give me 1x equals, and when we multiply fractions we multiply straight across, so this is negative 1/18, and that is actually going to be the multiplication or multiplicative inverse, which will go with this line. And then the x, 1 times x is x equals negative 1/18. And that one there, again, will be the multiplicative identity. Okay? And I'm expecting when you guys are solving, I want to see your reasoning behind each step. Okay, and this is going to be the last one. So for this one, that's our given. And now we're going to take x over 4 and we're going to multiply by 4 to both sides. And we get 7 times 4. So again, this is going to be the multiplication property of equality. So that's going to be to get us from the given to step 1. And then from here we know that these will cancel out and give us 1x equals 28. And that will be our multiplication inverse. Okay, because we know that dividing by 4 is going to give us this. It will multiplying and by 4 and dividing by 4 will give us 1 here, and then this will be x equals 28, and that was thanks to the multiplication. Oops, let me click on this one. Make a new box. Multiplicative identity. Here. And again, that gives me my answer of x equals 28. Okay, I apologize for the sloppiness. I'm going to try to figure out something a little better for while I'm gone, because I don't have any of the pens for my board to be able to write with. So I hope that you guys get this and get it all ready to go. There will be an assignment covering this on Monday, or excuse me, on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys when I get back.